Mark chapter 6. Jesus left there and went to his hometown accompanied by his disciples. When the Sabbath came, he began to teach in the synagogue, and many who heard him were amazed. "Where did this man get these things?" they asked. "What's this wisdom that has been given him? What are these remarkable miracles he's performing? Isn't this the carpenter? Isn't this Mary's son and the brother of James, Joseph, Judas, and Simon? Aren't his sisters here with us?" And they took offense at him. Jesus said to them, "A prophet is not without honor except in his own town, among his relatives, and in his own home." He couldn't do any miracles there except lay hands on a few people who were ill and heal them. He was amazed at their lack of faith.
Mark chapter 6 verses 1 to 6. I'm standing outside the Alexandra Theatre down in Bognor Regis. You know, it was here that locally born Ben Richards, who came on a school trip, had his first experience of live theatre. He came to see a TV show of Button Moon that was touring. Well, Ben would go on to the Feltham Art of Dance, and later on his sister would take that dance school and make it the Art of Dance and Fitness and move it to the old school building next door to South Bersted Church. Well, Ben went on to star in TV shows such as Hollyoaks and Holby City, The Bill, Footballers' Wives, and in the West End in theatre. He had leading roles in Grease and Rock of Ages, and most recently alongside Beverly Knight in The Bodyguard. He is your triple threat: singing, dancing and acting. So back in July 2019, on the 28th at 7 o'clock, he did his one-man show. He loves to support this local theatre as it's where it all began for him. He called that show Coming Home, and in it he performed songs from Frank Sinatra and Bruno Mars and a bit of The Greatest Showman. He received a great welcome home. He is a local boy done good, which is what you may have expected also for Jesus in our passage today, but it's not what Jesus receives. Jesus had been performing these amazing miracles, casting out demons, stilling a storm, healing people, even raising Jairus' daughter from the dead. And yet, when he goes back to Nazareth with his disciples, people are very suspicious of him. There's no argument about the authenticity of the miracles. It's just that familiarity has bred contempt. Is there something of what is known as the tall poppy syndrome? Cutting down the one that seems to be a little bit bigger than the others. There's a bit of a dig when they say, "Isn't this the carpenter?" In other words, this guy used to fix my door. How can he be anything special? They call him Mary's son, which again is unusual because most people would have been known as their father's son. That would have been a bit like their surname. But is there still some kind of cloud over Jesus's illegitimacy and parentage so that he's known as Mary's son? Well, sadly, there is a rejection of him. There's not the warm welcome of him and his ministry. People are hardening their hearts towards him. So the amazement we see is sadly that Jesus is amazed at their unbelief. How sad it would be if Jesus was amazed at our unbelief of him, if somehow familiarity also bred contempt. It's important though for the disciples, and this is all part of their training and of what it means to be a disciple, to understand the rejection that there will be even of Jesus. Father, I don't want to be one who rejects Jesus and makes him surprised. I want to be warmly receiving him and all that he has to teach me and to do in my life. Father, thank you for the reality check that we see of the way in which there is such a mixed response to Jesus. Please help us to keep on keeping on, just as you'd like us to, with Jesus. Amen.